Hello friends, how's everybody doing today? I wanted to make a quick testimony update for you guys. I feel like it's been quite a while. It's been a few years since I recorded my first video. And looking back on that one, it was filled with so much pain and sadness and just longing for the Lord to hurry up and clean me up and fix my life. And I feel like that's where I am today. Like, the Lord has done so much cleaning, so much fixing of my life that I can't type enough. I can't talk enough about it. I can't tell enough people. I lost, that 36 pounds that I just wrote about. And this has been since May. Since May, that's what I've lost. That's how much I've grown. I quit drinking in May. I quit everything that was not for me anymore, pretty much. So the fasting and intermittent fasting I did for my health actually helped everything else. It was like one problem that compounded another problem, and it was just so much going on, and it was out of control. And this is the first time in my life I've been sober for more than a week, I guess. I'd quit drinking here or there, or when I was pregnant I was sober because obviously it was not my body anymore, it was my baby's. But I just had that habit, and I thought, nothing's affecting my life wrong. I didn't have any DUIs. I was down the road half naked, somebody chasing me. I didn't have anything that I thought was a consequence or like hurting my life or why I shouldn't do it. I just kept self-medicating pretty much. And if you guys have been with me on this journey, I had a lot of suicidal ideologies, and it really was a slow death. It was suicide for years and years and years of my life because I just kept drinking. I would go home at night, 5 o'clock, open my drinks, cook dinner, pass out 9, 10 o'clock, get up in the morning, my stomach would hurt, I'd drink a little bit of water, and I'd start my day. And, I'm only 39, so I guess it didn't catch up to me in a consequential way, but it did catch up with me with my health. The day I quit drinking was May 3rd. I actually had a coaching session because, I did that coaching. And my face was so swollen. My neck was so swollen. I scowled at the the camera because I was just like, oh, you fat, disgusting ogre. Like, I was just like, you're so gross. And I remember coaching that day, and the coach telling me, you're a champion of people. You're here to comfort others. So the devil's a counterfeit. And you know what he does? He makes you comfort yourself with the alcohol, with the, anything you're doing to comfort yourself when your comfort should come from the Lord. Y'all see that gray hair? It's just blinding me today. But he's right, and that really struck with me that if God's supposed to be pouring into me and I'm pouring into others, how can I pour from an empty cup? Like, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't giving God space there because I was just destroying myself, I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, I feel a lot better. It's been, May, June, July, August, September, October, 5 months. In 5 months, my life has totally changed. I wrote that article in February about my mom and I not seeing eye to eye. And I just couldn't understand. I felt this lonely place, this place of persecution, this place of people attacking me or not seeing me eye to eye or not understanding me, not taking the time to understand me. I felt very lonely, dejected, rejected, just all of the nasty feelings that you can create in your mind. I was going through those. Now that I'm sober, oh my gosh, I'm on my apology tour. I told my mom I'm sorry, and she's like, oh no. And I stopped her. I said, no, I'm sorry for not taking your feelings into account. And the coach really helped me with that. Is, I guess I have a weight on if you're worth my time, if I'm going to give you my time, my attention, my service. Like, I weigh you. This is going to sound superficial, but are you pretty enough? Are you worthy enough? What can you do for me so I can give to you? And that had to stop. So, I told my mom, I'm sorry for not considering you as a mom and the loss you must be feeling when I reject you and go away for months and then come back to talk to you because I've allowed you some time in my life. I never stop to think, the word empathy, they teach you about it, but you really have to put yourself in somebody's shoes. And I thought about my kids. If they walked away for months and said they weren't talking to me, screw you. And I'm like, I poured my blood, sweat, and tears over you. I prayed blessings over you. I sacrificed so much for you, and you're going to turn away and walk away from me? And learning that lesson really helped me learn so many other lessons. And I really relate the struggles I'm going through with parenting, my parents, or me parenting, the struggle God goes through with us. We are God's children and we reject him. We walk away from him. We tell him, prove it. We tell him, whatever, I can do it on my own. And we try to do all these things and then come running back to our daddy because we can't do it. We can't do it. And so, guy at my job said, hey, you're looking skinny. What's going on? And I'm like, it's the Lord's miracle. Literally, it's the Lord's miracle. And then my coach reminded me, no, you are God's miracle. And right? Because yes, I am a proponent for children. And if God's knitting you in your mother's womb, you are wonderfully made. You are a miracle. So why don't I take that same level of care and thought to adult people? You are God's children. I'm God's children. I am a miracle. Me breathing, thinking, moving, operating, that's a miracle. When you look at the tiniest cells and you blow them up and you see even an ant's face, the detail that God created in it, if he did that for an ant, I must be wonderfully made. There must be more to me than what I give myself credit for. And I think that's really why the devil chased me so hard in my younger years. I was set apart. I was set apart by God. I was very lonely because I was set apart. I never fit in. Everybody called me the weird girl. And I was like, what's normal mean? I'm brushing my teeth and putting my clothes on like everybody else. What's this mean? But I understood I was set apart. I was set apart. I went through a lot of horrible, lonely places. That way I could go before somebody and put a flashlight, a beacon of light for somebody, that it's okay if you're in the dark. Somebody's there. Somebody's gone through it. Somebody's going to help you and pick you up in the battle. And that's what God made me for. Even my mom said, remember you went through this difficult time with your water bill? Well, because you went through that, I gave this lady who's working with me the same advice. And I really think you were meant to go through that first. And, when I said I have the gift of pain, or I dub myself lonely, or that I can walk in the darkness, it's because God meant that for me. God meant me to go through it because he knew I was strong enough. He knew I wouldn't break down. He knew I wouldn't just be like, oh, God, rescue me. He'd be like, all right, what's going on? How do we get through it? What do we do? I just drove up to Crystal River to see my friend, 2-hour drive, and then my battery died when I got there. The old me would have been like, I knew I shouldn't have left. I never go out anywhere. I should have stayed home where it's safe. The new me said, let's still go to lunch. Let's do the things we were going to do because I know God has a plan for me. I know God's already resolved this for me. And her boyfriend was able to jump me. I got home safe. I knew it was a battery issue. I got to my mechanic the next day. So God did have a plan for me. And because I was able to rest in that, I was able to still have a good time with my friend who's battling cancer and show up. And this weekend I saw my mom and my dad. And if you guys knew me before, you get one visit with me and then maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. Like, I got to recharge my batteries. But now I'm going out. I'm trying to be a good daughter. I'm trying to be a good friend. I'm trying to be there where God wants me to go. My coach said my courage doesn't show up until I get out of my house. So where have I gone? Outside. Where's God leading me? I don't know, but we're going to listen. We're going to try. Something that came up in my coaching is when this all flipped for me, I feel like, is when, remember in my first testimony, I said, the Lord's building me an ark. I don't know where I'm going, but I built my ark and I'm trusting the Lord. I remember getting that call that day that this house opened up for me. And I said, oh, God made a way for us, and I had several people in my house and they all kept saying, yeah, the universe really worked that out. The universe made a way. And I slammed my hand out and I said, why won't you people say God? And I feel like once I firmly dug my feet in and took a stand for God, that's when he started working in my life. that's when he started calling me, convicting me, changing me. And I said, I haven't done anything on this journey, but that's not true. I started reading my Bible. I started seeking God. In the Old Testament, I'm still in the Old Testament, but I am fearful of the Lord. And when they say a wise man is fearful of the Lord, you are fearful because you see the great power and just wiping us clean and starting over. And he could take my breath away in a second. And it's kind of terrifying. However, it's a love story. There's so much of him calling you, drawing you, confirming you, your identity in him. And it's a beautiful love story. It is a beautiful love story. And I just want to make sure that I communicate with everybody that the darkness is important in our character development because it will either drive you to evil or it'll drive you to God. You all know I'm a conspiracy researcher. At the bottom of the conspiracy rabbit hole is Jesus Christ. You cannot get to any conclusion except that is the moment that it changed. That is our redemption. That is our Savior. This whole world is about good and evil. So whose side are you on? You can't serve two gods. You'll either serve the God of this world or the God of creation, your creator, your Father. And I just want to give people hope. Like, if you're in that darkness, if you're in witchcraft or whatever you got going on, God knew that about your life. God put you in those places. God character developed you, and it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. It's up to your heart. Do you want to continue the ways of witchcraft and rebellion? Do you want to choose the way of obedience? Once I started being obedient, man, my life is amazing. I would never want to go for the long sleep anymore. I want to wake up every day. My kids are having a hard time, but we were going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to have a new day. And there's going to be new opportunities, and there's going to be new blessings, and there's going to be a new chance to encourage others with Jesus. I also found out that I test really high on workplace. What did he say? Oh, crud. Workplace, not evangelism, ministry, workplace ministry. And I think that's so funny because all I do at work, I'm like Jesus's cheerleader, talking in the text, God bless you, have a good day. This is the day the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be good in it and happy. And it's just really fulfilling to be the person I'm supposed to be. I would say I have a lot more apologies left on my list to do, but I'm chipping through them one by one. And I just really want others to see me the way God sees me. I'm just really eager to serve, eager to provide that comfort. I am still sarcastic. I'm always going to be who I am. I mean, Peter cut that Roman soldier's ear off. I'm still going to be aggressive because I'm a champion. So I have to battle and fight something to be, successful in my mission. But there's a softness and a joy and just taking a moment to smile at somebody and really taking a moment. Take a moment. Everybody's so busy. Everybody's so crazy. And if we just take that moment, give it to God, what an amazing journey we're going to have. Because God's going to part that sea. God's going to, swallow up a man and get him where he needs to go. God's going to do it. So my mission today is, what can I do for God, and what does he have in store for me? There's so much more. I mean, I feel like I've gained 5 years of my life back after destroying my liver and my skincare and my weight and my joints and everything I took for granted. I mean, my body is a miracle. I need to appreciate it and reconnect with it. And it's incredible. And I've been wanting to make this little recap video for you guys so you know. And if you watch my first testimony and you watch this one, you will see the transformation through Christ. I was dead. I was so dead in my old life. And now I have this vigor, this restoration. And I know that my kids will be all right. And they're going to have a hard walk. But they know that they can ask the Lord, call upon him, and put their faith in him. And they'll be okay. So today, I love you all. I'm praying. You know where to reach me if you need anything. I'm here to encourage you and support you on your mission. The truth will set us free, and we're all in this together. So I really hope you have a blessed day today. Bye, friends.